Okay, so this is part 2. So we're on Blackbeard. Obviously, Blackbeard, as I was, everyone knows the story with Blackbeard. The shields did the job. I used to love using him all the time, and he, obviously, through constant nerfs, is just, for me, not the same operator as he was. People still use him. People still like him. He'll save you from a headshot with his shields. But obviously, he was so overpowered to begin with that for me, having played with him so much at that level, he doesn't feel the same to me. If he was exactly as he was back then, he would be almost a 10. But right now...
Yeah, but isn't that the problem? Because he was almost invincible at that point.
Yeah, but you could push him constantly, you know. And they also nerfed his weapons as well.
Yeah, but the SR-25 is still pretty powerful. It still packs quite a punch.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. But I'll probably give him... Now, I'll give him a 6.
Yeah, I'll probably go 6 or 7. Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's about fair to where he is. Okay, so Capitao, an operator that I really like. I use him a lot, and he never feels like. He always feels like he has more armor than what he actually does. I don't know why. He's the only operator that I feel like that with.
Oh, see, I don't. I think he's far too easy to kill for me.
I like his gadgets. Though recently I have found it sometimes, you know, when you're under fire, swapping between the smoke and that. I know it's only one button, but when you're in a massive firefight, it can go wrong, and you end up flick back to the one that you've now run out of ammo for, which can be very frustrating. I like all of his weapons. I'm using the M249, but regularly I do switch back to the Para 308. I love that gun.
You see, I prefer the Para 308. The same reason that I like the AK-12 with Fuse. It's purely the reload time.
Yeah, the reload time.
The 249 again is just ridiculous.
It is ridiculous, and I can remember a while ago you and I doing a 2-player as Capitao and Fuse, and we were both using these, and we both had to reload at the same time, and it felt like we sat there for about half an hour. It's not so bad if the other player
it doesn't go well.
Yeah, and it goes wrong. But I like the recoil changes that they made to this. I actually find it more manageable. But for me, I'll give him a 6.
Yeah, I'd probably give him a 5, 4 or 5. So, you know.
Around the 4 mark. So
I'm not a big fan.
Fair enough. No, he's probably a 6 for me. So we're looking around that kind of between us, a 5-ish mark. So next we got Habana. I used her a lot when she came out. Well, actually not when she first came out, but I really did enjoy using her. I love the Type 89. I think it's a great gun. The only problem is the magazine is way too small. Ubisoft, change it, please. It frustrates the hell out of me. I'm reloading constantly. It's got
bigger.
killed.
It's bigger than Twitch's, though.
It is bigger than Twitch's, but obviously Twitch's is 417 is a single shot, whereas this is not.
Yeah. No, I get that, but the magazine size is bigger. So
yeah,
you know.
But obviously with Twitch, I can, because it's so powerful, I can take a shot, maybe a headshot, couple of body shots, they're done. This, you've got to fire more. It's very accurate. I think it's a really accurate gun. But the burn through ammo like no one's business. Don't get me wrong, we're not burning through ammo like Mira burns through ammo, because no one burns through ammo like Mira does. But in terms of attackers, yeah, that's my biggest complaint. Her gadget is still really useful, and it can obviously be used in various ways to make smaller holes, bigger holes. You know, Maverick has changed her a bit. I don't know whether I would choose, you know, if you needed one operator to do that job, which one would you pick? I don't know. It depends. Disarm bomb, I would probably take Habana over Maverick. But maybe like extract hostage or something where you just want a small Pico, I'd probably take Maverick. So it depends. She's got the bearing 9 as for a secondary. That can be useful. A lot of recoil. I personally, I don't use her as much as I used to, and I used to use her a lot. But I still like her. And for me, I'd still give her a 6 to a 7.
She has her uses, and I'd probably agree with a 6. I'm not quite sure that she's as good as some of the others that got a 7, so I'd agree with a 6.
Fair play. Fair enough. Okay. Oh, we're getting there. Right, Jackal. Okay, so we know Jackal's biggest problem on Terrorist Hunt. His gadget's
useless.
Work on Terrorist Hunt. Now, when they first announced him, the thought of his gadget really was like, got me pumped. I was like, that is going to be awesome. That is going to be such a good gadget. And it just doesn't work. And they've never given an explanation for it. I presume all the time and effort maybe that would go into doing it. Personally, if it did work, it would be a brilliant gadget. Even if he could track just the bombers, that would be something. I would. It would really elevate him, because he has got a really obviously he's got more than one weapon, obviously, but the C7 is still one of the most accurate, if not the most accurate rifle in the game. I think they've nerfed it.
I tend to use the PDW9 more.
Oh yeah. Well, I mean, that's all right, but I do like the C7's accuracy. But once again, I think he was overpowered, they thought, and like a lot of the DLC operators, and got a nerf. But for me, okay, he's basically, for me, an operator with no gadget on Terrorist Hunt. So I'm ranking him regards to his weapons, and he has got really good weapons. So I'm still going to give him a 6, just because he's got good weapons.
See, I would turn around and say, because his gadget doesn't work, his weapons are okay. I wouldn't say they were that fantastic, so I'd probably only give him a 4 or a 5 at most.
Fair enough. I think I'd agree with a 5. In and around that area. Okay, so Ying. What's your take on Ying?
I never really used Ying a lot until sort of fairly recently. A special can be useful, but equally you have to use it at the right time. So many people, when you're playing with them, who play as Ying and then throw it into a room as you go in, means that you get blinded as well, which is a bit of a pain. But but no, she's good. She's quick. She's, you know, her weapons are average. I think. I don't think there's anything amazing about any of them.
I think my biggest disappointment for her when she came out was the T95 looked great, but when you used it felt like, I don't know, it felt like it was taking far too many rounds to kill people. She's obviously, all of the all of those weapons have been upgraded recently, and I now find it's a really good weapon. I'm quite a fan of it now.
I don't use the shotgun, so you know,
No, I don't.
I would only ever use the assault rifle. So
Yeah, but I like her, and I'd give her a solid I'd give her a solid 6.
yeah, 6 is fair.
Okay, so now we come on to Sofia, and I know that you're going to have a lot to say about her.
Why would that be?
No,
I find that she's really useful. The LMGE that she's got is a fantastic gun. You know, I think that's great. But then again, so is the M762. I think both of her guns are really useful, quite accurate, manoeuvrable. She's got Claymore, which makes her quite useful. Her pistol is quite powerful and quick as well. So, and obviously the withstand is always helpful. You know, sometimes that can bail you out of problems. So
yeah,
I find she's a great operator, and she's definitely one of the ones. Well, as you know, she's definitely one of the ones that I pick the most. So you know, for me, she would be up there. She'd be a 9.
Yeah, I mean, you obviously use her way more than I do. Maybe that's the reason why I don't pick her that often, because you're normally her. But it's
Hands off, she's mine.
But when I do use her, I like her. I'm not overly in love with a gadget. I don't find it does. For me, it's just a bit of a very slight.
See, I find it useful because you can take out, you know, you can make holes in walls and take people out with it. But equally, you can, you know, if you're using a hostage or whatever, you can just flash the room with it. I find it quite useful.
I mean, I like her. I'd probably give her a 7, simply because, like I said, for me the gadgets it's good, but for me it doesn't set the world on fire. I was a bit disappointed when they first announced her, and I was like, oh, is that it? Because for me it was like Ash 2.0, if you know what I mean. But I like her, and I like her weapons. It's just the gadget doesn't blow me away. I still use it, and I still like her.
I accept the Ash 2.0 thing, but I just think that they have done it right this time.
Yeah,
so I'd stick with a 9, you know.
Fair enough. I'm going to go with a 7. You're going to go with a 9. I know you love her. That's fair play. Okay, Dakaibi, another operator who is ridiculously frustrating, because personally I absolutely love the Mark 14. It did get nerfed, but even before the nerf, it was one of the best guns in the game, hands down. He's literally had almost no recoil at all. For a powerful single shot rifle, that's ridiculous in a way. It was so accurate. I've never.
The only thing is, the shotgun is so powerful that if you're gonna pick a gun, you kind of got to and almost use her secondary as and use the C75 as her main weapon, and then switch to the shotgun when you're up close, because that shotgun is just ridiculously powerful.
Yeah, but I mean, the problem is for Dakaibi, for me, is obviously her gadget is the other gadget. There's only 2 in the whole game that don't work on Terrorist Hunt. Hers does not work on Terrorist Hunt either. Very frustrating, because I think there's no reason why they couldn't have made it work. I just don't get it. I really don't understand it. It annoyed me. For me, she drops right down. And for me, if she didn't have... I love the Mark 14. Love it. But if they took it off of her for some reason, they're not going to do that. But if she didn't have the Mark 14 and she had, let's say, something pretty basic, she would be probably my lowest ranked attacker.
I hardly use her, so...
I give her a 5, and probably 4 points of that is for the Mark 14. It's because I still think it's that good, but everything else is just like, eh.
Yeah, because of it being a shotgun and having to use the secondary, you see, I'd probably put her lower than a 5. I'd probably put her at, a 4 at absolute most, but probably a bit lower than that, probably a 3.5.
See, what shotgun did you mean? The Boss 12.2?
Yeah.
That's her other one.
Yeah.
Oh right, yeah. Because obviously I would.
Ridiculously powerful.
It's got crazy damage. Yeah, that's got crazy damage, and she has also got her secondaries. She's got the C75 auto, hasn't she, and the SMG12. Yeah. So she's got some nice kit. It's just that secondary. I think there's no way. Like I said, I'd only give her a 5 for the gun. If she didn't have that gun, she'd be a 1 or a 2.
Yeah, you see, I think she's almost only slightly above that, even with all of her guns and everything, because for me, you have to use the secondary as the primary. So, it just doesn't work.
So you wouldn't choose the Mark 14?
No, probably not.
So I love that gun. For me, it's top 5 in the whole game. I think it's so good.
Yeah. Different styles of play in it.
Yeah, oh, absolutely. We've all got our things. Right, okay, Lion. Now, as you know, I'm quite a fan of Lion.
Indeed.
Obviously, there's problems to that because Mr. Lion is going to be slaughtered by Ubisoft very soon. They've openly come out and thrown him out of the Pro League. I saw a video recently, people saying they think if that's the case, he should be thrown out of ranked play as well. They have blatantly said that his gadget is going to be removed from the game or changed significantly. They think it's too unfair advantage, and he set the record in the history of this game that when he was released, I think it was the next 2 Pro Leagues, of every single team chose him.
Well, yeah, you can understand that because it is so useful, that gadget, but then people have got used to it.
They have got used to it, yeah, and obviously
I don't know that I like this idea of now going back and changing everybody's gadgets and all that kind of thing. You made them, you put them in there for a reason. They've been in there. Leave them alone.
I personally agree with you. I think. Did he have 4 to begin with? 4 was a lot. Or was it 3? 3 or 4, and he's down to 2 now. On Terrorist Hunt, the more you can give him, the better. But I think he's useful. He's really useful on Terrorist Hunt, especially on something like Realistic, and he can spot people pretty quick. Roughly where people are going to be. I like his weapons. I go with the V308. I rate him highly. For me, he's an 8.
You see, it's interesting. You go with the V308. Why do you not go with the 417?
Simply because I have used the 417 on him. I think I just like, if I'm gonna use a specific way of attacking, I'll use Twitch and take the 417. Whereas I like the fact that he's got the barrel mag on the 308. I don't know really. I probably will go back at some point.
Just that you rave about it with Twitch, but
I do.
It's with another operator, but
I don't use it. I know, that's weird. Because for me, it is the best. My own personal opinion, the 417's the best gun in the game. But yeah, I don't use it on Lion. Very strange. I don't know. Interesting. I don't know. But I'm going to give him an 8. I think he's good, but God knows what they're going to do with his gadget. I think personally he will get a completely brand new special. I think it won't be.
Yeah,
anything
which I think is wrong. I think it's wrong. I mean, don't get me wrong. I don't use him that often personally. I'd probably only give him a 7 at most. Probably actually more a 6, but that's just because I don't use him very often.
But
I
is
do
useful.
think it's wrong to change him that much, and he is useful. Yeah, don't get me wrong, very useful, but just one that I don't use that often. So
fair enough. Okay, 3 to go. Okay, Thinker. I always go with the Spear 308. I think that's a pretty decent gun. I couldn't get the hang of it to start with.
yeah.
But I do like Thinker. I think she's an operator who, you want to use at that right time. I think she's very handy when you're playing a realistic type of situation. Her special, obviously, there's not many operators in the game whose special affects everybody else. So hers is kind of unique. Giving that health boost to everyone, your aim, even your speed. It can be really useful, and especially if you can save it. Like if you're doing extract hostage and you've got the hostage and you are trying to get to the extraction point and you've got a lot of enemies left and you haven't used any of her specials, you can literally be jacked up constantly. Do you know what I mean? So,
but most people tend to use them up before that point.
They do, and that's why I think her gadget is best tried to hang on to. But obviously, you know what happens. We've both done it. Hold on to your specials on terrorist hunt, and then you get killed, and you haven't used any of them.
Yeah.
And that can be a nuisance. But hey ho. I like her. Is she the best in the game? No. Is she the worst? Definitely not. Her special is useful, and I'd probably give her a 6 or a 7.
I'd give her a 6.
Fair enough. So we're down to the last 2. Maverick.
See, I quite like Maverick. I don't particularly like his M4. I think the I like the M4. I don't like the AR-15. I agree. The M4 is better overall than the AR-15. It just flows a hell of a lot better and is a lot more user friendly for me.
I totally agree.
Like
I'm M4 all day long. I felt like when you were using the AR-15, it felt like it was firing like a pea shooter. It felt like it had no power behind it at all. No, I go M4 all day long. I think he's really useful. He's changed the meta in the game. I like him. I haven't probably used him enough yet. Obviously, he's a very new operator, so not having the time spent played with him like we have others. But I do like him. I'll probably give him a 6 or a 7. Probably a strong 7, maybe.
See, I'd probably give him an 8, 8.5 because I do think that he's useful. I do like using him. I do think he's quite user friendly. Certainly for the way that I play.
No, fair enough. And last but not least, now this is very difficult to judge and give her a score, simply because we just haven't had enough time with her yet. She's only been live for what was this, the 2nd week on PS4. I do really like the ARX200 though. I think it's quite a nice gun.
A fantastic gun, and I love the 44 auto mag.
Yes, that is it's getting nerfed, isn't it, in the next update?
Which is just disgraceful because that gun is the nuts.
Yes, but it's getting a nerf. So's his Kaids as well. Her gadget, I like her gadget. The only problem being
getting used to.
It does take a bit of getting used to. I wish that they hadn't changed it off the technical test server and left it that it it impacted immediately. When we were playing Terrorist Hunt and you've got a bomber coming at you, you've suddenly got to switch to that. If you could fire it instantly and it went off, that would be really useful.
Yeah, the delay, but the delay's too long anyway.
The delay can get you killed.
Well, yeah, but it's too long. I don't understand why they left the delay that long.
Yes.
I can understand. Okay, you want to put a bit of a delay on it. Fair enough.
Very slight.
But
yeah,
it's a massive delay.
It is a massive.
And I don't get it. I don't get why they made it that long.
No, I don't.
Because it's not like it actually kills anyone. So you know, it's not like you're firing a grenade at somebody or anything like that. It just kind of. It doesn't. Well, I don't see why they would have left it for that long, personally. But yeah, the ARX 200 is great. A gadget takes a lot of getting used to, but I'd give her a solid 8 at the moment. I think she's useful.
See, I'll probably give her a 6 or
most
7
of that
at
is
the
for
moment.
Well, most of that, to be fair, is for the auto mag.
Yes.
Because I love that.
Yes, it is nice, to be fair. I'll give her a 6 or a 7, not because she doesn't deserve more, it's because I just haven't used her enough yet. She could quite easily go up higher than that. Okay, so we'll just give a very brief overview. So that's all the attackers. We will be doing follow-up videos for defenders. We might get a couple of other people on board to talk about that. We'll probably do that later on in the week. But in terms of attackers then, so obviously we've got our 22 attackers. Obviously we've got our favourites. We know that you know, I like using Twitch a lot. You like you like using Sofia a lot.
Yep.
We've both got people that we both really enjoy using quite a lot. Montaigne, we both really like. Sledge, we both really like. Buck, Fuse. Overall, yes, there's a few people that you use more than I use, and I use. That's always going to happen. Obviously, that's just normal. But you know, overall, I think the scores were quite reflective overall. Like I said, if Blackbeard had been left alone, he'd probably be my only 10. But obviously he's far from that anymore. I still use him. I just don't use him as much. But you know, you keep going back to the people that you feel really comfortable with on attack. Probably still, for me, probably Twitch is probably I still use probably just about more than anyone else. Or Blitz. Blitz is between those two.
You see, mine's probably Sofia or Fuse, but you know.
Yeah, but you know, it's nice sometimes. I have nights where I just want to play and I don't want to use people I'm comfortable with. I think it's nice to have that.
It's always good for a change.
Yeah, it is, because I also it also appreciates going back and playing with them later. But every now and again you forget how good someone is. You know, obviously we'll get to the defenders later, but I mean, there's 2 or 3 on defenders who I barely gave a look in, and they are, well, so Bandit and Frost, for example, I never really gave those 2 a look in for the first year that both those operators were available, and now they are 2 operators that I use all the time, constantly. So
but that's a change, isn't it, in the way that you play and things that you do.
Yeah, absolutely. But these videos are basically, we're just putting them out there for anyone who is interested in Terrorist Hunt, or doesn't own the game, or is thinking about buying the game, or someone who is just, you know, maybe they play online more than they do and they want to come on and give a Terrorist Hunt a bit of a go or whatever. It's just an overview of roughly what each operator does, how we rate them, the pluses to them and the minuses to them, really. Being open and honest about what's what. Other people will find things different. They might not like certain operators, the way they work, and that's cool. Everyone's different. It was just an honest overview. The disappointment for me on attackers, Dokaibi and Jackal, the fact that their gadgets the only 2 operators in the game whose gadgets Well, actually, that's not true. There's one other one, and we'll come to that on the defenders, because there is one more, of course.
Yep. Yep.
But on attack, they are the only two who just it doesn't work. And in fact, the defender whose gadget or special doesn't work is even more annoying, because theirs would have been brilliant if it had worked properly.
Yeah.
It would have been.
But there's compensating factors for the defender.
There is massive compensating factors, definitely, and we'll discuss that when we get there. And like I said, for me personally, I still use Jackal and I still use Dokaibi because I like their weapons. So there's certain people who I don't use their specials at all, hardly. So I'm not that fussed. So sometimes a good gun is way more important than a good special. Obviously that depends. If you're playing defense, then I think the specials come into play for me way more defending than they do attacking.
Yeah, but I also think that they've made a massive mistake with the defenders, where they've got rid of certain gadgets for certain people and they've given them those horrible cameras.
Yeah, I don't like the camera.
The so-called bulletproof cameras are just, well, they're just rubbish.
And what I don't like about the cameras is that you have basically, Valkyrie, her special is a camera. So why give other people cameras? Okay, she can throw hers anywhere and whatnot, and obviously hers are far superior, but it doesn't matter. It's still why? Why would you do that? And obviously Maestro has a camera. See, it'll be interesting when we get to that, because I love Maestro, but I don't like his gadget. But yeah, I really like him. Alibi, I love her gadget. For me, one of the best in the game. I still, her gun, as much, even though I use it and I use her a lot, I wish it was better. So it'll be an interesting discussion when we get to defenders. We'll try and do that this week. And and that's it from me, really. So we'll see you when we see you
later
for Siege. Take care. Thank you for watching. Bye bye.